So welcome back everyone, it is Kaleem from everythingFPS, and in this video we're going to be going over some tips and tricks and all the shebang to help you get your first Warzone win, or just get some more consistent wins. These are the things we've been employing from back from way back in Verdansk, and it still works for today. Obviously Warzone itself has changed a bit, so we're going to go over some of the things that you can do to keep up to date to make sure you are getting the dub every time. I do hope you enjoy this video. If you do, like, subscribe and all that type of stuff, and stay tuned for more content in the future with tips and tricks, not just COD and everything else. So I really hope you enjoy the new content, and also the bit of shift up between me and my brother, who are going to be sharing this channel and making some more better videos for you. So I do hope you enjoy. Hopefully the quality is better as well, so I hope you enjoy. I'm going to get into it now. So the first thing I'm just going to get out of the way with is just the meta weapons. You just got to be using the meta weapons. Obviously it's early days right now, so the meta is to be in the air, but this is what you've got to do to win consistently. Using the best weapons is what's going to help. I mean, what I've learned so far, just to playing the small amount of games that we have, I mean, we've got a few with the wins already, but from the games that we played already, the health in this game is much lower than it was in previous Warzones. This means that the meta weapons are going to be even stronger. I mean, you're not having as much time to get into cover, getting all that, hide and get away from these bullets. So in this game, using the meta weapons, making sure that when you are in engagements, you have the best weapon possible to kill the opponent. Otherwise, you are always at a disadvantage. That is the ultimate, the ultimatum of this game. As much as I love to not use the meta weapons and try to change it up, when I am just purely going for the win, I always use the meta. So I would say watch certain other YouTubers like ourselves as well. Look for the meta weapons. To also find the weapons that work well for you. Just because it's meta doesn't mean the one works well for you. So find the gun that fits your playstyle, and is the meta as well. That is one very important thing in this game, and it's always been important in Call of Duty history now. Another really important factor in this game that's going to help you get loads of wins is basically positioning, and this is a hard practice to get good at, really. But this will take time, and the more you play Warzone, the more you'll just get used to what the flow of the game is happening. Positioning is basically making sure that when you are in engagements, when you're attacking people, or when you're defending, you're always at the best position for this to happen. This is really hard to describe how to do correctly, I would say. However, it's about thinking. I mean, imagine, I also sound really nerdy, but imagine this entire Warzone is a chessboard, right? And every piece matters, and where you are, how you attack engagements is all part of this piece. This game. So for example, you'll see in this game, the one I'm showing you, we do very well positioning. When we see a lot of enemies on the left and on the right, so basically we're in this little town bit here, and we see that we're about to go to a massive open field. There's people on the left, there's people on the right side of the hill fighting on the hill. There's people near the top of the left of the hill fighting near the huts, right, which is just a bit of high ground, bit higher ground. We decided we need to go to kill the guys and the people on the left. This is important because the people on the right, they're in a bit of a field, so they're open anyway, they're more exposed. They probably want to get out of this situation, while us, we have a choice. If we fight in the open, we're going to get killed by the people on the left who have more cover and on the higher ground. So we have to get rid of the people on the left. Once we get in that position, we pretty much win the game, because that allows us to give the high ground. We know there's no teams to the left. We have the best position to kill people on the right, and once there's people on the right, there's no one behind us anymore. This is what you call great positioning, tactics, I guess you would say. We've put ourselves in the best position possible to win the game. And each mini engagement, each part of the game, each different circle has a different thought process that go behind of it. So it's really about being aware of where the enemies are, being aware of just everything that's going on, and trying to put yourself in the best position for when you have the next engagement. So positioning is major key in this game, and you have to nail it, really, or you're never going to be getting those high kills, high wins. So definitely, when you look at the best players who are getting all the wins, the positioning is a major part of this game, and without it, you pretty much just die all the time. So if you feel like you're dying always mid-game, look at what you're actually thinking. Are you just rushing everyone, or you're picking your engagements perfectly? So if you want the wins, then you've got to think about positioning. But if you just want kills, then rush everyone. That's fair enough. I think the next one, really, just to keep this short, bit short, is basically running UAVs and making sure you've got a ghost on. If you getting lots of UAVs, make sure you're buying loads of UAVs. This always makes sure you know where people are on the map. This is very important. You need to know where people are, positioning. All this isn't tied with knowing where people are. You can't have good position if you don't know where people are. So you can, but it's a lot harder without UAVs. Obviously in this game we constantly have UAVs, we're constantly making sure that we know where people are. We're running ghosts as well, so which means when UAVs do get popped, not on them. Advanced UAVs, they show everyone. That's really important as well. So if you can get an advanced UAV, I'd probably leave that for a more later game. But if you want to, if you're rushing for kills, then maybe mid game. But just knowing where people are through UAVs, kill streaks, and using all these effectively, that is going to change the game. As you can see in the clip that I just showed you, I used to the cluster mines to get those people out of cover so we can kill them. That's them go out the game. These types of kill streaks and that, use them to your advantage. They're there. Definitely buy them. There's a lot of other stuff in the shop, but I know prioritize when you've got once you've got your loadout, buying UAVs, buying kill streaks, making sure that you're using these effectively. The next tip is basically I would say just play Rebirth Island, stuff like that. I know it sounds like, oh, I want to get Warzone win, so why am I playing Rebirth? Rebirth is just a really good insight into what Warzone feels like, using the guns, how the guns feel, getting used to that, I would say that 3 plates and having those faster paced engagements that just get you used to the game. This is really important, because if you're not used to it and you feel like, oh, I'm just not good at gunfights, I don't know why, this is just a nice way of getting you, warmed up and eased into the game. And when you're used to, getting those engagements, when you play actual Warzone, you'll be feeling like, oh, well, this is more familiar now. Going from Warzone to multiplayer to Warzone is a bit of a jump. Rebirth is that in between. So if you feel like, oh, I want to play Warzone, but I'm not, that used to it, definitely go Rebirth. Definitely go how it feels. See how strong your weapons are. See how everything is. This is the perfect place to test everything out and see how it goes. Then when you go into Warzone, everything will feel much chiller. I think the last thing to keep in mind as well is just the fact that this Warzone map is obviously a bit smaller, a bit more, chaotic, I would actually say. There's a lot of things that are close together, buildings wise, and there's obviously a few things that can help you as well. So I think in this game they have these things called like gulag tokens and gulag re-entry stuff. Just you want to be making sure you're always getting them ones, making sure you're picking up self-revives, things that can keep your team in the game as long as possible. And like I was just saying before, this Warzone map is probably the smallest we've had in a while. It's smaller than Verdansk. It's smaller than the massive Al Mazrah one. That was absolutely terrible. It feels like you're in building to building, so it really depends. I think what you really want to use. I would say more AR. This is more AR focused gameplay now, because ARs are the middle ground. The snipers are very, powerful. Can't deny that. They're pretty much one shot here, but it depends, because you have to be honest with yourself. Do you have the aim to pull it off as well? So I think AR is probably the best middle ground. LMGs, SMGs, they're going to be obviously that's like a lot of guns, but they're going to be reign dominant. With the size of this map, it's pretty much perfect AR range, I'd say, and because it's house to house, that gives you that flexibility. So it's just these are all the things you got to keep in mind. I mean, there's loads of redeploy, balloons everywhere as well, so people can move around the map fast. This is definitely a fast-paced Warzone compared to the previous one, which was, I would say, very slow-paced. So, just a different type of pacing affects everything. So, all these things, what we said, you just have to keep in mind when you're playing. This is why Warzone is such a fun, I would say, game, because it's just so much things to think about, so much different, variations and all that. This is why when Warzone is good, it's really good. So I do have high expectations for this new Warzone. I think it's, on the verge of being really good. So hopefully, cross fingers, they'll smash it, as long as nothing like stupid comes out and destroys it. So we'll see what happens. So I just hope you think this video was any good, and tell me to do the tips and that help you below. Obviously there's more things to be said, so I'm just trying to go over the main points of what Warzone is about, and tell for basically a beginner's guide. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if it was any good. Let me know if you like the gameplay. We've got some more stuff coming out soon, so I hope you enjoy. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.